I would love one of those. And we're going to see Team Liquid start off on the CT side, and Twist has already pushed up. He's already got 1 kill as well, trying to rebound off of this as Virtus.pro is able to finally take him down. But still took a hell of a lot of bullets.
It's a nice early pick, but Twist just not quite able to make it happen with the second. And as Nitro gets dinked, this B bomb site looking a little bit vulnerable. Finally, the flank comes in. Trades, though, immediately there for Virtus.pro as well. Adren and James still with the bomb on their backs and still haven't got to commit to this B bomb site either, right? Fast rotations on Vertigo. And it's going to be Jane with the bomb trying to make his way back around. You can see Adren just backing out of the situation as well. So Virtus.pro, they've got time to play within this 2-on-2. And Adren thinking about this flank. Stewie looking completely the wrong way. Takes the dink, but still not taken down on 4 HP. Stewie finds the headshot. And that leaves Jane with a 1 versus 2 to contend with.
Yeah, you really got to be able to hit those with a follow-up shot, turn it into a 2-on-1, and give yourself that real strong start in the first round of the game. But here we go. James will get the bomb down. So, oh no, he actually canceled it last second, which gives an opportunity for Liquid to push him, but they're obviously going to take their time here. Allow Elige to get set up right behind James, who's just trying to rotate back in. And Elige, he's just got him trailed. He knows exactly where he is, but it doesn't seem to matter. James gets the first kill. Stewie on 4% HP, 4 health in a dream. And still at least able to keep himself alive. And the kit's down by James, so he knows he has so much time to play with.
No opportunity for Stewie to get the defuse in, and James just going to find the kill. A triple for him in the pistol round to open things up, and that's exactly what Team Liquid wouldn't have wanted, right? They needed that little bit of confidence to open things up. They took those early duels, and they were successful. I mean, that Stewie 4 HP headshot was insane, but they just can't quite find that closing round. They can't quite pincer James with a lovely headshot, and he manages to take the first round. Going to give Virtus.pro the buy-in with the bomb as well. Force Spy's not going to be looking good for the CT side.
I mean, I'm almost having flashbacks at the moment to the Astralis match yesterday against Cloud9, where they could not pull off a second-round win after taking a pistol. Cena was able to win the buy-up, the force-up, but Team Liquid, even with just pistols, you cannot count them out here. Virtus.pro going for a nice little boost over the smoke as well, trying to get some vision on towards ramp, trying to feel out if Liquid are going to get aggressive and push for anything. I do like how they have a decent stack over towards the A side as well. 3 players there, 1 on the rotated middle. So if the A hit does come through, Liquid are going to have 4 people here to help defend.
You've got plenty of presence, but the firepower is still very much in favor of Virtus.pro as now the Molotovs start to come out, clearing the sandbags, being meticulous about the hit. They know that Liquid will have forced into the second round nearly inevitably at this point. So the full execute's going to come out, taking no risks at all, and Stewie completely smoked off of the bomb site. This should be a free plant for Virtus.pro, and it's really just about how much damage the CT site can get at this point. The Molotov onto the planter is going to get a couple of ticks onto Sanji, but nothing too significant. And Liquid, they're completely locked out of the bomb site. There's an argument even to be made just to save the armor at this point, because trying to get back in this kind of situation with the lack of utility that Liquid have is going to be nearly impossible.
Yeah, no kit, no smoke to cover this off as well. James pushed up right in it. Stewie's actually defused it, but he's eventually going to be picked off by Sanji. Not able to get one onto James, and they're trying to overrun them within the site. It's going to be a 2-on-3. The time, though, is starting to tick down. Naf not quite able to connect that deagle shot there. Now Twist coming in from behind, just looking for some damage, looking for some exit kills, looking for a little bit of extra money. Maybe that's G, but he turns at the last second, and Kikert's going to get the kill, and Virtus.pro will have that 2-0 start.
That Krieg would have been so good for the CT side as well. If Twist could have just got away with that one and given himself something to work with into round number 3, it would have been so much better. Instead, they're going to be looking down the barrel of a very rough buy. Naf picks up the P250. A Deagle comes out for a Liege, but it is severely lacking, right? They've lost 2 rounds on the trot. The T side, they're going to be looking to farm as much cash as they can through Jame on that Mac-10. Try and get him towards the AWP as soon as possible. And for Liquid, again, how much damage can you do? Can you take away those Kriegs, maybe take the AK-47 with you, and it's going to be a fast, aggressive push all the way down in towards the back of the A ramp. And at Virtus.pro, they look like they have no idea at all here. Nitro in a fantastic position, but Kicker at least able to get one before the trade. That's actually the bomb down, and there's so much presence here. Nitro grabs himself a second, and Liquid just need to not overextend here. Adren able to get one back onto Elige, looking for more, but Stewie just ducking and diving, buying his teammates some time as Buster starts to think about this flank. And again, Nitro, no idea. That's an execution. The second comes in. And Liquid with just Twist remaining. The Deagle looking for the 1v3. Able to find at least one headshot, but nothing more. And that very nearly fell apart for Virtus.pro, but it's well recovered.
Well, you said Team Liquid looking for damage. And they get 3 kills off the back of that. And I agree. If they can keep that Krieg alive and fighting, if they were able to stop Buster on the rotate, the flank from behind, that could have been easily Liquid's round. But here we go. Liquid going to be on the buy-up now. We can see the M4s across the board, the utility there to back them up with as well. And Virtus.pro looking to stabilize their economy somehow, as Sanji's the only one above 2K at the moment.
That's a lineup and a half.
That's pretty nice.
Virtus.pro much slower on the entrance into this one as well, just taking that slow control of mid, leaving Kicker alone towards the scaffolding, and he's going to catch Stewie with a nade out, but somehow Stewie escapes without taking a single tick of damage, so a little bit fortunate there, Liquid, to be getting away with that kind of a play early on, as Twist does just take a tag through the wood, and Sanji has managed to get very advanced in towards mid. Liquid, they've got a Liege watching this, but if he turns at the wrong second, it's going to be all over. Naf and a Liege with the crossfire, as Naf does manage to find the opening pick, and Virtus.pro really nobody there to try and contest. Dren forced to bail out with some utility and instead head towards this B bomb site where Twist, looking like a lonely anchor, a lovely headshot to open things up, looking for more, and he's going to catch the timing as well onto a Dren. It's falling apart for Virtus.pro, and Liquid look like they're finally about to get on the board.
That was a shot, though, Dren shouldn't have missed. I mean, he had a smoke out in his hand, he ended up throwing it, and still gets the realignment, just trying to, you know, hit the AD keys back and forth, trying to dodge away from the bullets. But still, Virtus.pro with 2 players left alive, trying to barrel in towards this A site. You got Stewie and Nitro already waiting, and there's Stewie's head cleanly taken off by Kurt. But they still have to worry about, well, the other 3 players towards the B site that could rotate back in towards A as well. They have a little bit of time to work with at least, but they need the kills.
Welcome to the Krieg meta. Kicker just absolutely ripping Stewie's head off. And Nitro's got a really nice angle here, just a couple of pixels. He'll spot the cross, resets the angle, and that's going to allow the rotations to come in. You can see a Liege supporting with the utility. Molotov onto the plant as he takes down Kicker, and he's going to grab the second as well. Nothing Buster can do. Liquid looking to improve on their successes, getting their first round on the board, getting themselves a decent amount of rifles saved as well. Those 2 Kriegs on a Liege and Nitro could be absolutely crucial.
I'm just thinking back to the match yesterday with Fnatic Renegades and seeing Brolin and 2 other players have Kriegs and just 1 M4. It just seems kind of funny to see the CTs having so many Kriegs and so little M4s, but that's just the power we got going on within this weapon. And now Virtus.pro, after taking 3 rounds straight, because of the economical damage they've taken from Liquid, they can't really buy up here. They're actually going for just the pistols, a little bit of armor for Sanji. But just like that, 1 round, and it looks like Virtus.pro on the back foot.
And that's what Liquid have always been good at doing, right? They're just constantly ticking you down, making sure no round is a freebie. You never get around cleanly with Liquid, and it keeps the economy so fragile. As Naf going to be tested early on and able to take down Sanji. And it puts Virtus.pro in these awkward situations where they win several rounds on the back of each other. They start to build up at least a little bit of economy, and then immediately it's taken away. 1 round 1 for Liquid. They're in a fantastic position as well, saving those 2 Kriegs. And there's nothing that Virtus.pro can do other than picking up these pistols and trying to do what Liquid have been so good at doing, trying to take a couple of rifles away, as that nade looked like it was going to do some damage, but doesn't quite land. And Virtus.pro looking like they want to try and fake towards this B-bomb site initially. Lovely flashbang, though, and Twist going to get himself a frag. 2 players down for Virtus.pro. How do they make this work? Mid-presence at least gathered.
Yeah, for a Dren, but he's pretty much by himself. Obviously, the quick rotate back towards B if needed, but the problem is the doorway through is covered by Naf and Twist, and it's going to be so hard to penetrate this with just the pistols alone and no real utility to set up any sort of kills, and a Dren will fall indeed in middle. It's now on Buster and James to push through with the Deagles. They got to hit some crazy shots, and that's the first one now done. Twist up close and personal. He's going to get the follow-up on the Buster, though. And Liquid, only losing 1 player, have a clean round. Twist gets himself a 3K, and Liquid put themselves up to 2.
And that's the difference between Liquid's full buys against half buys compared to Virtus.pro, right? They keep 4 players up. They keep a bunch of utility. They barely have to reinvest. I mean, Allegia's spending $1,100. There's $1,200 for Stewie. Nitro has only spent $200 to get his buy into this round. And then across the board for Virtus.pro, they're spending every penny they've got. And Adren still has to drop down on the Mac 10 to give his team the utility. And for the first time on the map, we do see James picking up the T-sided AWP, as it's going to be an early fast play in towards the staircase.
Oh, this nade wasn't successful last time, and not successful this time, unfortunately. Or did it come in a little bit later right there? Buster down to 51, so it looks like the nade did connect. Maybe I jumped the gun there. But some early damage. I mean, just like picking the way. I mean, Buster now not feeling as confident to peek any of these angles. Utility, it's going to be hurting yet again for Virtus.pro, as you can see. Just the 1 smoke and, or sorry, the 2 smokes and the 2 flashbangs. But to get on towards any of these sites and then looking to hold after plant, like I find that so difficult to do, especially towards the A side. But Stewie gets the first on the key, Kurt. Twist will fall, though, as Buster's been able to make his way in towards the B side. The problem is the bomb's not really in the vicinity to back this one up, so Nap could just stall for a little bit of time as the smokes go down, hoping for the rotations to come through.
Jame actually going to find another pick as well onto Stewie, who was looking for a flank down through towards spawn, and this has given an opportunity to Virtus.pro. They've managed to rotate the bomb in. Nitro at least going to pick up one, and this boost from Naf up on top of the wood could be huge. He's going to get the timing for the first and the second on the spray down. Jame needing a 1 versus 3 with the AWP in hand, and he's just got to try and find any kind of a peak time, at least on his side for now. The bomb dropped in the middle of sight, and he knows Naf is towards those second generators. He knows he has to clear him out initially, so the AWP going to be trying to sneak his way in, but Naf on the shoulder peak will be taken out to start things off. Trade immediate from Nitro, and that's going to be an AWP picked up. And honestly, I would have liked to see Virtus.pro just looping back towards A there, right? You catch Stewie going for that fast flank. There's no presence on that A bomb site. Just take the bomb back. It's on James' back. Go fast, get the plant, and play for the after-plant situation.
Yeah, it's obviously it's kind of hindsight 2020 for them, and we have the luxury of seeing the entire mini-map. But yeah, I definitely agree, and it's kind of unfortunate for Virtus.pro because without the bomb being planted, without them getting, I guess, a couple more kills, they can't really have the money to invest into this round. I mean, they're luckily able to get quite a few in that last round alone onto Liquid, but because Liquid barely invested any money into the round prior, like you pointed out, Nitro is spending $200, they're able to fully reforce back into this one. And now Stewie getting some early kills as well, leaves Virtus.pro with 2 men down.
Now finding the tag onto Sanji on the collateral as well. It's just putting more and more pressure on this T side. And when you've only got these half buys and you've only got pistols, you really want to be barreling into a site as a unit, not going for these isolated 1v1s, as Twist finds his 3rd frag, and that is a beautiful flash from Nitro to get it to him as well. Sanji and Jame, I mean, if they find even a frag or 2 at this point, it's going to be a success, right? If they can save a rifle, if they can just take something away from Liquid. But as Twist finds another onto Sanji, it's Jame with just a P250 to his name to try and find something. He spotted out the head of Twist, but not quite connecting with the headshots. And again, Liquid, they come out of these near enough flawless across the board, and they're saving tons of utility. So their buy is going to be really, really strong, and they're just going to be able to keep building that CT economy.
And Twist is doing, honestly, like so much damage at the B side. Even if he does fall, like the nades have been coming through, just a kill or 2 every single time. He's really punishing Virtus.pro every time they head towards this B side, and he's not allowing them to get in cleanly. So then you look at Virtus.pro, like what can they potentially do here to change things up, to maybe execute into a side or maybe rush into a side? And I'm not necessarily 100% sure. The A side's gonna be difficult to do with Jame with the op unless he supports, or if you get the afterplant situation. But you can just see how invested Liquid are putting early smokes down to stop any sort of rush or any sort of aggression to come out of Virtus.pro right off the bat.
Yeah, if they want to get anywhere near that bomb site, they're going to need to find some more utility to work with. As Kicker this time is going to be able to find the early pick onto Nitro. That's going to put some pressure back on Liquid. A lead caught as Sanji goes straight through the smoke, and he wasn't expecting that. So 5-on-3 now, and this is where Virtus.pro need to make sure they convert. Buster looking for the aggression, but not quite able to spot out Twist. And for VP, this round now becomes crucial. They have to find the conversion here. With Stewie and Naf alone towards this A bomb site, a 2-man hold going to be near enough impossible. But the bomb actually going to make the long rotation around and try and put that pressure back onto Twist, who has completely abandoned the B bomb site at this point, looking like it could be a near enough free take for Virtus.pro and a near enough free 4th round.
I think with the position Stewie's in, he's going to know they're not coming towards the safe site, so the rotate either going to come in or the safe potentially going to come in for Liquid, though I would imagine they're going to look to make this expensive for Virtus.pro. Bomb going to go down now. Feels like it's been a long time since we've seen actually the bomb planted. What was it, the pistol round, if I'm not mistaken?
I think
and
so.
And the 2nd round as well, but that was it. And it looks like, yeah, I'm just going to be looking to save. So they have the 1 Krieg, the AWP, and the M4. And they have a lot of money behind this as well, but there's no need to like throw anything away. There's no need to give Virtus.pro a little bit of extra money anyways. And then just go for the economy break yet again in the round coming up.
Yeah, I would have liked to see maybe one player getting aggressive, maybe Twist, because that economy is so fragile for Virtus.pro. But I can understand the save as well. Taking that B-bomb site with a 3-man hold isn't going to be easy at all. So rather just keep the Krieg, the AWP, keep that firepower heading into the next round, because it's Vertigo, right? Anything can happen in any given round. So VP going to be able to keep 5 players alive, and that's important for them as well. Start to build up that T-sided economy. They're only going to have to reinvest into the utility. And as they finally get around from the bomb going off, and Buster, that's a performance and a half, but look at Twist and Nitro.
Yeah, amazing. Like 242 ADR between the two. I mean, Buster, he has been able to open up a couple of entry frags for his team so far. So is Kicker and even Sanji a couple of times here or there. But they need to do it again, right? They need to be able to win this round again, do it relatively cleanly. Then they can start to really build some momentum, try to break the economy out of Liquid. They're picking up the pace, catching out Twist right off the bat. Adren setting up Buster, and he knocks him down. Virtus.pro with the man advantage now, but can they maintain this? Can they make this the clean round they need?
That's exactly what they needed to start things off. Buster with excellent utility usage to put out Twist's early Molotov. The flash comes over the top from Adren, and Twist completely out in no man's land, no support at all, and it's going to split the CT defense as well. It's going to cause some early rotations, and currently Nitro is actually completely alone on this A bomb site as Stewie looks to rotate in towards mid. And this is your problem for the CT side. On a map like Vertigo, you can't re-aggress, you can't take map control back. You're basically just hemmed further and further back into the site until an execute comes through. And as Virtus.pro start to make their way in, Kicker and Sanji actually going to take a lot of nade damage to open things up, and that's going to allow a rotation to start to come through from Stewie, but completely smoked out of the bomb site. And the bomb, is it going to commit? It's starting to make its way up the ramp. Yeah, there we go.
One thing I'm concerned with is that Virtus.pro only have one smoke now. They have a hell of a lot of flashbangs, don't get me wrong, but there's still 3 Molotovs left for Liquid. And playing the afterplant with one smoke is going to be a little bit difficult. You can see now Adren trying to be spammed out. He's tied down to 52 HP, and again, some decent damage. No kill! I thought that was going to actually connect onto Jame because he was just slightly off the angle. But Virtus.pro have taken a lot of chip damage before we've seen any kills come through.
How do you get back into this bomb site on a 5v4 retake? That bomb ticking down as well. Liquid looking to up the pace, but it's Sanji who finds first blood. Nitro at least able to trade onto Jane, but there's so many more frags to be found, and as time starts to run out, Sanji on the off angle going to find more and more. Naf finally comes in with a frag, but this round is all but done. The Orpa desperately trying to escape all the way back into spawn. As Virtus.pro, they'll have their lead again, and the problem for Liquid, they're just losing too many players in the early picks, right? They lose Twist early, and then that causes this massive rotation. 2 players have to make their way towards the B bomb site, and then you just haven't got the presence on A to hold off when it's a 5-man hit from VP.
I would imagine Twist isn't going to fall that early anytime soon again. I mean, not expecting the smoke with the flashbang to follow up with. I mean, would you really expect it in that kind of position for them to counter you so perfectly? But now he's got the op in hand, so we're seeing the double op setup come in for Team Liquid. Him and Stewie together. Twist, I mean, I wonder if they're just going to kind of leave him to himself over at the B site once they get him set up and tucked away nice and neat. Jame going to be on the op still. He's able to maintain it from the round prior. And we're seeing the 2 Creeks come in with the 2 AKs as well. And one thing Virtus.pro have been able to do, I think, relatively well in the rounds they've won is something I was talking about with Cloud9 yesterday, is that they're setting each other up really well with flashbangs, as you saw in that last round alone. Adren setting up Buster perfectly for that first kill.
Yeah, and it goes back to what they said. They tried to mess with their setups when they went past that major and, of course, had that massive run, but it's going to be Stewie out in no man's land again with that AWP taken out immediately by Sanji, and that's just putting the pressure straight back onto Liquid, losing the early pick yet again. Nitro completely isolated on this bomb site, smokes and flashes all around, can't look the right way, still manages to pivot for the first before the trade comes through from Kicker, but again, the bomb site is given up. The smokes and the utility for Virtus.pro make it so difficult for Liquid to even think about a retake. They get a little bit of chip damage through that smoke before. On 3, more Molotovs coming through from VP, and that's just buying more time for the T side.
And this looks like it almost has to be a save. You really have the money to buy up in the round. Maybe look for a kill or two. They're actually going to push straight through this here. Nap tries to get around the smoke, trying to push out Jane, which they do force him out of the position. The problem is there's still so many other players left alive here on the side of Virtus.pro. Nap going to charge potentially straight into Keekert, looking for the bomb, trying to pull off a defuse here as he's by himself now. But immediately going to look to run away, and Keekert's going to close him out. And Virtus.pro going to be up 2 rounds now at 6-4.
Definitely looks like they boot camped Vertigo, to say the least. They are looking very proficient on it. The utility's good across the board. They got that really nice read onto Twist's aggression, so that's not working out anymore. And that's where most of Liquid's rounds have stemmed from so far, right? They've got Twist aggressive. He's found an opening pick. Then when they've got the man advantage, they just need to trade and convert. When they're going into the 5-on-4 with a man down, Liquid are not finding consistency, and it's going to put them back onto the eco now. Just picking up some upgraded pistols. The Deagles, of course, never write Liquid off, but James going to help himself to a freebie as Elite looks to get aggressive into mid.
Yeah, and credit to Virtus.pro here. Like, they've been able to consistently do damage against Liquid. Obviously winning the last couple of rounds. They've been able to punish them. I don't know. I don't know if it's Virtus.pro punishing them or Liquid making some like slight errors or slight overconfidence as they were getting aggressive when maybe their money wasn't in the good position for it. Like in the last round alone, they had 3 players left alive. They didn't have the money. They could have potentially have saved those. They decided to go in for it and get aggressive. I'm not sure exactly why.
Almost feels like it's the frustration coming out from Liquid, right? They're constantly getting locked out of that A-bomb site by the smokes, the mollies, the flashes. They want to be able to pull off the retake, so they give it a crack all the same, and then it goes so badly wrong. They barely find a frag, and it's just so nicely cleaned up by VP that it puts them in a really awkward situation coming into this one. And with the money as it is now for Virtus.pro, they are really starting to build up a head of steam. The plow has been engaged, and Stewie with a huge job to do here down towards the A ramp. Pop Flash going to force him off his early angle, but he can't find the shot. Kicker able to take him out, and again the pistol's just being thinned down by Virtus.pro. 3 players remaining for Liquid, and the push again is going to come relatively freely into this A bomb site. Naf looking for a cheeky angle, but it's not going to happen. And Nitro and Twist, they've got a Deagle and a P250. This retake is not happening.
Not at all. I mean, maybe get a kill, maybe save a weapon, but look at Virtus.pro's economy. I mean, you got 6K on Keykurt, 8K on Buster. Be nice to recover like a Krieg or something like that. We have to hit some crazy shots, and Sanji's already able to take down Nitro. So Twist by himself. Virtus.pro going to go up to 7 now on the T side of Vertigo. And then there's a lot of questions surrounding like what kind of Virtus.pro would show. I mean, to be fair, there's questions about Fnatic as well, considering they haven't really played in a long time. Team Liquid, you mentioned before, the previous performance at Blast. It seems like Virtus.pro have been kind of able to show us now what performance they're bringing to Katowice.
And show us why they picked Vertigo as well. I was perplexed by that pick, but they are looking very, very good on it indeed. And Liquid going to be using their first time out here to try and work out what they want to do. The economy not in the greatest of positions for them, so they're going to be able to buy into this one, but it really is starting to feel like do or die time in this first half for Liquid. Their CT side starting to stumble after a 4-round string, but after that, they've just found absolutely nothing. Nitro and Twist still over 100 ADR, just propping up the stats for Liquid, but I mean, you look at Elige, Stewie, and Nafra, they're players you don't expect to be performing that badly. Stewie 3 and 8, Elige 2 and 7. Those aren't numbers you expect to be associated with these players.
And if we look at like the change up in strategy for Virtus.pro, it seems to be, all right, let's stop going B and just go A. like to be honest, like Twist, he was like 10 and 2, he was like 131 ADR, and now he's been kind of controlled a little bit because they're just not engaging him. They're not actually going towards his direction. They were obviously able to punish him in a round prior with the smoke and the flashbang combo through his Molotov, but it's just go A, punish Stewie, punish anyone that's there, maybe look for an early kill, and then just work off of that.
It's the Zywoo solution, right? Just don't go where he is,
Yeah,
and then you might win the round. Exactly. So Liquid again going to go for the double AWP setup. Makes the retakes very difficult, but they're going to be looking for the opening pick. Stewie on a slightly off angle. Naf on towards the B-bomb site, but Twist going to get punished again, trying to get aggressive down those stairwell, but Buster just reading him like a book to find the opening pick. And again, Liquid put in a very awkward situation. Naf alone on this B-bomb site, aware that mid is completely open for the CT side. He's going to have to bail out, and Virtus.pro have got every angle they could ever wish for at this point, right? They've got mid control, they've got players heading up the staircase towards B, and Naf has got a huge job to do here on the AWP towards the generators, trying to get aggressive, will be able to pick up the first pick, but he needs to stay alive. He's allowing the rotations to come in as you see Elige starting to join him, and perhaps Liquid can finally get back on the board. Naf catches Sanji in midair. Buster only able to trade for one before he's taken out, and with the bomb dropped on generators in a 3v2, Liquid finally looking like they might find their 5th.
There was no smoke to block him off. There was nothing to actually like take away these sightlines they can use with this AWP. They had one flashbang which they threw in, and that didn't work out for them. And now Virtus.pro were just running into a brick wall of Liquid, which I guess technically is like a body of water. Which is, I mean, it's painful at high velocities, all right? And Elige able to take down Keykurt. Now James alone against 3, and he's going to fall as well. And even with the early kill on a Twist, like that set them up perfectly to get into the site, but with Naf just holding on with the op, hitting those shots, delaying them, and with no smoke to actually like cross into sight, Virtus.pro just fell apart.
Yeah, and we saw exactly why Liquid are opting to go for this double AWP setup in that round. Naf is just able to find frag after frag. There's no utility usage coming out from Virtus.pro to stop him looking at that angle and stop him just peeking into them. But they're going to go for a fully scoped buy here. 4 Kriegs in the AWP out onto James. So perhaps looking to play Liquid at their own game and go for some early picks here and just try and play the passive angles as Stewie. He's going to opt to go aggressive again. Naf gets one, but it's an immediate trade by Adren. So one of those AWPs lost in the opening engagement, and the pressure's going to be back onto Twist.
I thought we were playing Counter-Strike, not Call of Duty, with everyone ADSing here. With the 1-for-1 trades you mentioned before, they at least take down Naf, which was such a key component to that last round for Liquid to win. But still, Twist is alive, and if Twist can kind of find his former form within the series, It's still going to be a very difficult site to penetrate. Dren goes in. He gets the kill as well. He's starting to build in some confidence here. Only 4 kills, but still, that was a massive one to get, leaving the B side open, forcing the rotations to come through. And the rest of Virtus.pro looking to push into Stewie, and Stewie gets the first, backs away as well. Someone's going to need to take this man down and have a chance to get in towards the safe site, and they're just not going to have it. Jay now trying to jump up over the sandbags, looking for his own shot, and now he's alone against 3, and Liquid again have held strong.
Stewie's pick was crucial there as Elise just finishes things off because the rotations were starting to come through towards B. Stewie gets that pick. That's bombed down on the A ramp. You can see Liquid just panic mode engages right there, all rotating around towards A. The support is there for the AWP. If Stewie doesn't find that pick, that round is all but done. Liquid able to get their 6th on the board, keep that double AWP setup going as well, which has been working out well for them now as they're starting to reel Virtus.pro in.
We're seeing almost the full scope buy for Virtus.pro this time, just the AK for Buster. And you're 100% right, Stewie really becoming the king there in that round to keep it alive for them after Twist falling. So he's going to continue to get aggressive, and the aggression hasn't really worked out for him if we think back to prior rounds, right? He's fallen a couple of times to people pushing up close against him when he wasn't expecting it, but now it seems to have found his footing as he takes down Keykurt, backs away, and it's an early 2-man advantage for Liquid.
Nitro's second pick there, just making life a little bit easier, and it's actually allowing a Liege to get super aggressive down the ramp, putting the pressure back onto Virtus.pro, and seems like giving Stewie free reign with that AWP is really starting to work out. He's just roaming the map at the moment as a Liege grabs another, and Buster and a Dren, with the economy as it is for Virtus.pro, could be forgiven for going for the save with 1 minute and 5 left on the clock, but really seeing some of the advantages of Liquid's, I don't like the phrase, but role-less play. They allow anybody to pick up anything and sort of play how the map dictates. And Stewie, he's picked up the AWP and he's coming off huge. Naf, of course, a consistent AWPer, and he's got the angle on lock as Buster looks to make his way in. So the AWP's really doing all the work. Stewie grabs himself another. Naf finds the tag and looks to finish things off onto Buster, and Liquid looking to go absolutely flawless in round number 14, getting the 7th on the board, and the pressure is really starting to mount on Virtus.pro.
Well, now they go into the last round of the half with about 2K apiece across the board for them. So not the best of buys for them. Not a bad start considering the Virtus.pro we've seen as of recent times. Definitely not the start you want to see coming into Katowice. You're 2 best of 3s away from being knocked out. You're also, I think, 2 best of 3s away from being put straight into the semifinals. So a lot on the line here for these teams. This is their first match of the tournament. We'll be getting into some winners and some loser matches later on today. Or I guess I should say elimination matches. You know, Virtus.pro picking up the pace of Dren, getting full control of middle right off the bat. I actually kind of like this because they haven't really gone mid too much as Liquid is able to put the foot down. Not though going to get overrun here, looking to back away with a nice use of the incendiary to hold them off.
He's bought his teammates some time as well. The rotation's coming in for Legion. Nitro into CT, traded 1-for-1 by Jane, but Nitro going to be able to come in with that recovered Krieg, a quick double kill, bomb all the way down in CT spawn. And Kicker and Buster, the plan looked good. They were going to try and go quickly, overwhelm the AWPs, and they so nearly did. Naf just with the utility usage to get away from that early situation. And then Liquid stabilized really nicely. A couple of quick frags come through. Nitro with a really well-controlled spray down on the Krieg. Leaves Kicker and Buster just trying to recover. I mean, they've got to go for it because it's a 4-on-2 in the last round of the first half, but they've only got a CZ and a Deagle, right? Naf is absolutely locking that B-bomb site down. The bomb is all the way down in spawn. It's certainly looking like Liquid will get the lead as they go into the end of this first half.
Well, one glimpse of hope for Virtus.pro is the fact that Nitro and Naf are both really low on HP, so it could quickly turn into a 2-on-2 if they could just hit their shots. But speaking of hitting shots, Naf's going to do just that. Keykurt now alone against 4. And it looks like this will be Team Liquid taking the first half victory, going into the T side with an 8-7. 25 seconds left for Keykurt. Hoping someone's going to push him, hoping Liquid are going to give him an advantage somehow. And unfortunately, not able to connect the shot. So there we go. Liquid end the half at 8-7 after a rocky start for Virtus.pro. Let's see.
I mean, they've got to get off to a good start again. That first pistol round, just not quite good enough for my liking from Liquid. So I want to see them going early on, breaking the skylights to fake that there's going to be some utility coming through them, but instead going to be going straight up towards that A ramp. No messing about from this T side whatsoever. And a Vanguard, Virtus.pro, I'm going to get that right once on this broadcast. Virtus.pro actually going really aggressive towards that B bomb site, already thinking about the flanks, and a really passive play coming in towards A. So a little bit of a mix-up here on the CT side, trying to something a little bit innovative, as it's going to be Sanji first through, but look at Naf. He is absolutely trained on this, and this is going to be all about the timing. Naf actually just starting to back off, and the ranged engagement coming through. Sanji not quite able to connect as the early dinks go the way of Liquid, and Naf on the hold, on the corner. It's going to be a free bomb plant as he's traded 1-for-1 by James, so bomb at least able to go down, and it's going to be a 4-on-4 hold for Liquid as the fast push still trying to come in, and Jane gets another. He's been huge on these pistol rounds. A Liege spotted as he rounds the corner, but does he know there's someone behind him as Stewie finds another, and finally Liquid start to stabilize.
That looked a little bit awkward. I was surprised to see Liquid not watch their flanks a little bit more once Naf did fall, considering he spotted out 3-4 players. Hickert, though, able to chime back in. He's alone against 2. No kit in hand at the moment. And, well, no HP left either, as Liquid do take the pistol round in a very risky affair, surviving with 2 players.
That's an innovative way to play a pistol on the CT side. One man towards the A-bomb side.
We don't want to play retake. We want to play the T side of it. We'll just push in from ramp.
We'll just push them as they're pushing us. And honestly, if they'd been able to buy like a couple more seconds from that passive A-hold, that round could have gone completely differently. They just needed to hold on for a little bit longer, but unfortunately not quite able to do so. And with the CT economy as it is in the current meta, going to be looking at a very slim buy. 0 investment. Default pistols across the board, and I'm sure Naf and Twist are going to be happy to try and farm some economy here.
They got to be able to find it first, though. Virtus.pro, I think they're taking some time to talk things over, going for a big save. And I kind of like this. I like, I like how teams like use this like second round where they don't buy up, just to use as like a temporary pause, talk some things over, feel some things out. Really trying to understand the way they want to play this T side. And again, I mean, thinking back to the way Virtus.pro are playing T side themselves, like once they I guess they realized what the real threat was, which was Twist at the moment, over towards the B side, they just started avoiding him, and it started to work out for them time and time again. It took some individual play out of Stewie to really halt them at the A site. And now Liquid need to kind of find the same route here. Once Liquid are able to buy up, where do they want to avoid? Where do they want to hit? But again, if you guys are just joining us, this is the B stream. We still have the main stream as well, where Mad Lions are up against Evil Geniuses. They are playing on Vertigo as well, with Dust2 to follow up with. And the last time I checked, it was 11-4 in favor of Evil Geniuses. So not necessarily the score I expected, to be fair, considering the recent rise of Mad Lions.
I can see it though, especially with Hunden's playstyle on a map like Vertigo. I can see it going very wrong.
You mean
very
God
Hunden? God Hunden, yeah, Hunden. I can see it going wrong very quickly as Liquid. They're just going to clean things up here, make sure they farm that economy. Naf's going to be first one through on the Mac 10, finding a few frags before Nitro finishes things off. And interesting thing there was when a Liege was facing off against the USPS, he looked like he had no idea that angle even existed. He was just getting dinked and nothing was coming through in response. Like, not quite sure what happened, but Liquid, they get their double digits on the board nonetheless, and James immediately going to be going onto that AWP to try and form some kind of a resistance for Virtus.pro.
Going for the glass cannon for him. He's going to need to hit some shots. He's going to have an impact here, I think, for the round, because the utility is massively lacking for Virtus.pro to delay any sort of push to come in out of Liquid. You have a hell of a lot of smokes, but again, time is going to play such a key factor here. James not able to quite hit that first shot, though, unfortunately. Connects onto a leash, I believe that was as well, though, through the wall. Some damage done, though. It's a little bit of an upside for him. And so far, Virtus.pro have been able to maintain all 5 of these smokes, so they're able to drag them later into the round to potentially hold off or potentially play for a retake towards the safe side if that's the route they decide to play.
Yeah, that little jump from James really put him off, I think, and the scroll wheel jump bind coming out to haunt him as Liquid. They get that ramp control. All 5 players still alive, although Leech has taken a chunk of damage as well on that Galil, and this is looking all right for a Virtus.pro so far. They've got the map control to work with. The utility really hasn't been a problem so far. They've still got 3 smokes if they need to plan a retake onto one of these bomb sites, and Liquid happy just to sit back and wait at the moment, and really lacking in the information as now the execute starts to come through, but it's Kicker to draw first blood onto Stewie, and he's still alive in towards short. Finding another dink onto Nitro before he's taken down is going to make it so much easier for his teammates as Adren capitalizes. And 4-on-3, make that 3-on-3. The Liquid, the trades are just too good for Virtus.pro. And Naf, he's got the Krieg, but he's going to need a 1v3 here as he's slowly sneaking his way towards this bomb site.
Looks like he's just going to chill in the smoke for now. Sanji actually repositioning, backing in towards CT spawn a little bit more. Trying to hold some space. We expect Naf to be that close, and well, it doesn't seem to matter as he gets the kill nonetheless. 3 kills for him in the round, and Virtus.pro will take their first gun round here on the CT side. I was a little bit worried, though, for Virtus.pro, because utility was a little bit lacking, but they had no kit. So if they were going to play retake, they had to do it fast, but they didn't have any flashbangs left to like actually force the issue, to force out a fight. So I guess if they were going to hold on to that site, they had to defend it and not actually let the bomb go down and play for the afterplant. But it works out for them. James also keeps his op into the next round, more importantly. And Liquid, well, they're going to be on the save.
Starts to put a little bit of pressure back on Liquid on the T side of things. They're going to go for a few upgraded pistols, but again, nothing significant. P250 for Elige, couple of Deagles for Stewie and Twist, and to be fair, you wouldn't want them in the hands of anybody else, would you? As they start to take that same ramp control. Again, a 5-man commit, and that's Virtus.pro getting aggressive over towards the B bomb site. You can see it on the minimap. James and Kicker, they're just completely clearing their way down there, so they know this is an A hit at this point. They know that there's no presence towards the B bomb site, so Adren going to swing and grab a bit more information. Lovely nade comes in over the top as he finds the opening pick, and the spray down is going to be good. Finds himself a quick triple. Twist at least able to get one back, but the trades are just too good for Virtus.pro at this point, and they are just cleaning up house. Sanji not even bothering to scope in on the creep as he finds one more and leaves Elige on this ramp with a P250, spotting out the flank from behind at the very least, but time is running out for him. He's being pincered from absolutely everywhere. Buster not even going to go blind as he finds the frag, and it's a nice cleanup again. Just the 1-man loss for Virtus.pro, and that's going to be important as these rounds pan out.
Yeah, very important indeed. Like, they need to make sure to have this op for Jane. We saw how important it was to have an op on the CT side for Liquid before. I wonder if they're actually going to go for a double op setup potentially down the line if they do stabilize their economy a little bit more. But now we're seeing Liquid buy up yet again. Naf going to be relegated to the MAC 10. Nitro on the Galil. The 2 Kriegs. I'm happy you say Krieg, by the way. Because that means you're a 1.6 player in my eyes.
Never played it.
What? Okay, well now I'm disappointed.
I'm too young for 1.6, man.
How old are you?
21.
10 years older than you. Ugh. Anyways. But did you play Source at least?
A little.
Okay, a little bit of respect back. I played Source too. Well, James gonna be forced out of middle with the Molotov. I'm looking to potentially pull off like a close proximity fight if he can against James if he misses the shot, though James doesn't miss too often, to be fair. It seems like most of the movement out of Liquid are going to be over towards the safe site yet again. They've really not gone towards B, to be fair, like pretty much at all, I feel like.
They really haven't put any pressure there either. There's been no presence. There's been nobody there to even sell the fake. It's just been, we are going to keep going up this A ramp until it works. And thus far, they've been having a lot of trouble. The Virtus.pro holds have been good so far, and the nades have been good as well, as Elige just takes a little bit of chip damage, makes him a little more vulnerable to those M4s. And Virtus.pro, they look like they've got this absolutely set. 3 players in towards this A bomb site as the push starts to come in from Liquid, and with no picks at all to work with, they know they have to find something soon if they want to get into this bomb site.
I think they know Kikert's here as well as he ran by. The smoke actually not covering off. Gets a nice little angle to use from this one, and he escapes as well with 81 HP left. The problem is they've lost a player in sight, but he's able to get around the corner and stop the bomb from being planted. Sanji, I don't think he's going to go over the top to stop this one. They're going to play for the afterplant. They're all coming from the same angle here. Two smokes to use for them. Not to mention a man advantage, a 2-man advantage. As Buster just pretty much comes in and swings away with his gun. And James closes it out to tie things up now at 10 apiece.
That's such a nice retake again from VP. 3 quick frags just taking players down on the site as Liquid honestly looked a little bit confused about what the plan was there, peeking out of angles, giving their lives up a little bit too easily. That A-bomb site is traditionally very hard to retake for the CT side, but Virtus.pro making it look incredibly simple, keeping themselves a couple of Kriegs for good measure as well, as Liquid again down on that half by 3 smokes, 2 flashes, and finally is it time for them to pressure the B-bomb site.
I do want to say though, at least in that last round, like Virtus.pro didn't have to work for that retake.
Yeah.
Like they just got angles and shot. They didn't have to smoke flash for each other. They didn't have to push in. It was just Liquid just facing them in a lot of aspects. But yeah, the B site, maybe that's a possibility for Liquid to penetrate and potentially get a bomb down. But James already able to shut things down onto Naf. Again, it's just pistols. Still some confidence built up for him is definitely going to make the Virtus plow come back.
It's looking real. I'm getting flashbacks to 2014 as Stewie pushed down the A ramp, trying to get something with that Deagle, but Virtus.pro are giving him absolutely nothing. James finally going to wander into the peak, but the crossfires are so well established for VP. The utility comes through, and Sanji should just have a field day at this point. Stewie at least going to be able to find one onto a Dren, but Buster looking to correct the situation. James even picking up a P250 frag, and it's really nicely cleaned up again by Virtus.pro. They find themselves round number 11. They keep those 2 Kriegs up. This is all looking good for the CT side, and Liquid again going to have to be calling that tactical timeout, looking their economy and trying to work out how do we buy into this round and how do we disassemble what is looking like an incredible CT side for Virtus.pro.
I mean, I think it's reasonable for them to take the time out to think some things over. It's not like anyone's not really pulling their weight within Liquid's side. It's just they're not really able to make the plays happen. Like, yeah, they've been able to get the bomb down. They haven't been able to defend after plant, but I think sometimes it's like random aggressions catching them off. Like Jame going for a peek somewhere. You saw Keekert push up before, using the smoke to his advantage to just peek around the side. But Virtus.pro have been so good, I feel like, at getting a kill and then like backing away, like not losing a player in return. Team Liquid haven't been able to refrag too well, I'd say, on the T side. So Virtus.pro has been able to get these man advantages and use them, well, to their advantage.
Yeah, and on a map like Vertigo, those trade frags are so important because it doesn't play like a normal CS map. You're not going to see that back and forth of map control. It's just who frags better, who finds the shots. And at the moment, it's Virtus.pro, quite frankly, as again, Adren aggressive and finding a ton of damage onto Stewie, down to 12 HP. Kicker out in no man's land, still manages to find the frag before he's traded. And with a Liege brought down low in the process, Sanji's going to find Virtus.pro another man advantage early on. 4-on-3, no pressure towards that B-bomb site once again for Liquid. And they're trying to head up short, but Sanji has got it on lock.
That's just what I was saying, right? They get a man advantage. I mean, I did back away Keekert, unfortunately. I don't actually know what was going on within his play there because it seemed a little bit awkward, like he had vision, but he didn't actually go for the shot. Maybe hoping they wouldn't check him out. And here we go. Smoke's coming down for Liquid. Should be able to get the bomb up towards the site now. Can they defend it? Nice nade comes through. Actually takes Jame down to 50 HP. And Twist is looking for an angle. You can see how cautious they are to go for the plant. They do have 2 Molotovs on the side of Virtus.pro. First one goes down. Nitro's able to get away from it, however.
Let's see if Liquid can hold this one down. They've got Twist making his way down towards short. Naf covering the flank, and they've got one player on the site in the form of Nitro. Buster spotted out, but Jame able to find the opening pick in response as he takes down Nitro. 2-on-2 now. Make that 2-on-1 as Twist with the spray down finds Adren, and it is all onto Jame. The AWPer taps the bomb once. He's trying to bait a peek out from somewhere, but at the moment looking completely the wrong way as he is going to be cleaned up, and Liquid will finally get something going on their T side. But again, not without problems, not without trouble. They are really struggling to get any kind of consistency on the T side since winning that pistol.
I mean, to be fair, it also, I don't think they should have been able to really have a decent chance if like a Dren got the initial kill finally. That he was, I mean, pushed up ramp, right? He got the spray down. I think it was onto a Liege, got him very low. And then Keekert was kind of in an odd angle and could have went for the first shot and then backed off and then to have the man advantage. Can't knock it too much though because they still had a man advantage either way when it came to time for Liquid to actually push in through to the site. But again, A site seems to be exactly where Liquid want to go. They've gone for, well, B pretty much every time except, I think, once. And why not when it's working?
Yeah, it's a little awkward to watch, isn't it? No presence towards the B-bombs. Like, again, Buster aggressive. They've got one.
You have to ask, like, when does Virtus.pro just say, okay, we're just going to push B?
Yeah. And I mean, they are starting to do it. Like Buster, here you go, all the way down the stairs. He's got that map control there. Jame aggressive in mid, holding the angle. So that's allowing 3 players to play however they want in A. They know this is an A hit at this point. So Elige's going to take a ton of nade damage on the ramp. Nitro takes a couple of tags as well. And Liquid, they're absolutely stuck in this A ramp at the moment. There is nowhere they can go. They're starting to think about a loop back around at this point as Elige makes more and more noise towards the ramp, and they might actually get the timing here. Buster still aggressive on the ramp, but he spots out the gun of Twist, and now he's got to win the opening duel. Not able to do it as Liquid finally asserts some pressure down towards this B-bomb site, and it's actually going to catch Virtus.pro off guard. Adren able to take down the flank in the form of Elige, but the B-bomb site has been given up in the meanwhile, and bomb set to go down. It's going to have to be a 4-on-4 for Virtus.pro, but they've got presence here early on.
They're definitely going to need an early frag here. Stewie's low at HP, so's Nitro, and James going to get the first shot onto NASA. Man advantage back to Virtus.pro. They have the health advantage as well. The utility, it's going to be enough to help push back in, but can they hit the shots when they need? It's going to be the question. Look at Keekert, he's ready to come in towards stairs as well, directly behind them when the push comes in from the upper. They smoke it off as well. Nitro gets dropped by Adren as he pushes in towards the site. Twist is trying to spray through the smoke. When are they actually going to have the push coming from behind? Keekert, he's there. He has opportunity to pick up some kills. He spots it the first, takes down Stewie, but there's going to be a second man there. It's Twist, and he'll eventually fall to Sanji, and Virtus.pro will pull off the defuse. They'll pull off the retake. But that was still a little bit too close for comfort.
A little bit too close for comfort, but again, Virtus.pro just unlocking Liquid one piece at a time, right? If that flank comes in a second earlier, the round is over. It's done. He was a little bit slow with it. Perhaps some little nerves coming in as he goes for the backstab, but it still works out perfectly. They still keep 3 players alive, and they still keep that pressure on Liquid, right? Their economy not looking good at all as Elige looks to buy. Stewie going to pick himself up an AK as well. But it's going to be pistols around those 2 Deagles and a P250 as Virtus.pro. I mean, this is a performance and a half on Vertigo.
I actually really like the smoke, by the way, they used to cut off like the entrance to B, because you would think on the T side, all right, well, there's no one behind us, then why else would they smoke that? And unfortunately, Kicker was only able to get 1, and they did trade in the end. But it doesn't matter. Virtus.pro take the round, and a performance and a half so far out of them on Vertigo. Still have Mirage to come up second, but they haven't closed out this map just yet. And they're going to do a little bit of damage onto Naf from Sanji. The double AKs and the pistols out of Liquid, they're really looking to break the bank out of Virtus.pro, which they definitely have the opportunity to do so here if they can just close out this round. And we're seeing some presence out of middle. Like Liquid are starting to lean towards the B site, and maybe they realize after getting the bomb down that that's something they can do. Twist gets a kill on a Buster, and that's going to be potentially a gun picked up for them unless it fell off the map.
Have they finally worked out that there's 2 bomb sites on Vertigo? Kicker and Sanji out towards B, looking to hold it down, but the pressure is going to come on. Smokes, nades, everything Liquid have got is flowing in towards this B bomb site. Twist out in no man's land, and it's a quick double for Kicker. Finally taken out by a Leech, but the trades are still there. And it's still a 2-on-3 with Nitro and Nav taking so much damage. Make that a 1v3 for Nitro. And he's got a recovered M4, but nothing else. 35 seconds left on the clock, and he's taking more and more damage. The nade through mid brings him down to 7 HP. And it would be a miracle at this point if he can find the 1 versus 3 onto the B bomb site. Virtus.pro still dumping utility into B to make absolutely sure nothing can go wrong. They're thinking about the flank at this point, so Nitro is going to be able to pick up a first onto Sanji. The stationary turret of his M4 able to find at least 1, but that allows the push to start to come back in with 10 seconds left on the clock. Nitro somehow makes his way onto the bomb site. The plant has been heard. He switches out to the Deagle looking for the 1 Deags, but the pressure's coming on. Can't quite land the first shot, and Jame will clean things up. Again, messy for Virtus.pro, but they get their 13th. They're 3 rounds away from stealing map 1 from Liquid and really justifying their map pick in my eyes.
That was still way too close for comfort for me. Like being able to see Nitro just push in, gets the first kill to Sanji, we didn't push for that one, and get the bomb down, and then have that potential to pull off those Deagles for the kill in the round. Virtus.pro's economy would have been bust after that too, and that could have been Liquid on 13 just as quick as Virtus.pro did get it. But luckily, Adren and James survived. They had a lot of money across the 2, able to drop down for the other teammates, but still, Liquid easily have a chance to get back into this. They just need that 1 crucial round to break the bank out of Virtus.pro, and then to start to climb through further and further into this map. But yeah, honestly, going into today, I didn't expect map 1, I didn't expect the series to be as close as it is so far, but I think that's a true testament to what Virtus.pro has been able to do in their downtime and really able to put on a performance and really prepare for this event.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the boot camp working out, can't you? Everybody's clicking really nicely. The utility usage is good from Virtus.pro, and the individuals just seem to be trusting themselves as well. And that was something they spoke about a lot, is just having belief in the system. And it really looks like Virtus.pro have that now. As Liquid, again, they've got to try and find a way to break this defense, which has been resolute so far. They're going to get some early damage onto Buster in the initial trades down towards that B bomb site, as again, B looking perhaps like it's a slight weakness for Virtus.pro. Liquid have had more success towards there than they have the A bomb site, to say the least, but not putting too much pressure. Again, sitting back relatively passively and instead looking like they want to try and form some kind of a mid-A split.
I think they've almost unlocked the lock that's been able to maintain these rounds for Virtus.pro. They've definitely changed things up considering they were hitting A almost every single round. How do they dislodge Jame? Sitting here ready with AWP. They do have some presence over towards A, though. They've gone towards, like, it looks like almost a default, you know, a little bit of presence towards mid, a little bit towards A. Can easily transition in towards B if they need to, but we can see how far back Virtus.pro are actually playing at the A site. Considering we saw a Dren before get really aggressive with Keykert to look for picks down towards the bottom of the ramp, they've actually given up a lot of ground to Liquid this time.
Keykert looking to correct that as he's getting aggressive behind that smoke on short, and Nitro is aware, of course, that that smoke gives him the opportunity to do so. So going to be watching the angle. Second CT smoke comes in, and Keykert going to aggress even more, just posting up behind this smoke, and he's hoping for a timing. 2 players staring at each other through the smoke, but it will be Nitro to come off better as the aggression comes through. Do they expect the second man? Nitro, no idea at all. Almost catches the spin, but not quite able to do so, and the frags start to come through. 2 on 2 again. Somehow Virtus.pro are finding this consistency. Buster with another, and it's on to Twist. He's only got 16 HP to work with as he looks to get this bomb down. Time means he has to, and he's at least going to be able to get the plant, needing an absolutely vintage 1v2 from him as he starts to push up, and he's got to find an early headshot. He's got to correct this into a 1v1 if he's going to have any chance at all.
Look how far away Buster is. If he can pull off this 1v1 against Sanji, there's a good chance for it. But Sanji gets the kill, and Virtus.pro going to go up to 14 now. Getting so close to pulling off this first map victory and going on to Mirage up 1-0. But Liquid, they get the bomb down. They've got the loss bonus. They're still going to have the money to buy up into the next round. Some decent damage done to the side of Virtus.pro, but I think they can feel it. You can see they still have a decent amount of money left to buy up. The aggression finally came through. I was getting really scared for Adren there, though. When he got pushed to the smoke and he didn't take that first shot, if he got turned on and killed, that would have been so unfortunate, and that could have been Liquid taking the round themselves. But either way, Virtus.pro get it. They get themselves to 14. Get themselves one step closer to that coveted 16 here in map 1.
And they get themselves a little bit of bonus cash as well, just something built up in that bank, so they're not constantly at breaking point anymore. They've got a slight bit of room to breathe as James looks to get aggressive towards the scaffolding initially. Pop flash to allow him to peek down on that AWP to try and find the early opening for his team. And Stewie thinking about the peek straight in. You cannot peek an AWP like that, no utility. And it's just all too easy for James to open things up and find Virtus.pro yet again, that early man advantage. And they just look to play off it. And every time they find these initial picks, they seem to be able to convert the rounds no matter what. The trades have been good. And with a 3-man A hold, and again, Liquid just putting the pressure onto the A bomb site early on, all 4 players over towards A. This is looking like another excellent read from Virtus.pro.
Okay. There's a wall there. You did see Shane, by the way, after the first shot hit onto Stewie. You saw him almost want to go back for like the second peek. Want to go for another shot, but he kept his composure. Oh, man. Twist has potential to do so much damage through there. And Buster, we talked about when we see some aggression towards B, considering they haven't really gone towards the B site too often, and he's going to be doing just that. He's on stairs a couple of rounds before, now he's actually pushing down that one. Adren being dropped down to 30 health as well. Virtus.pro, even though they have the man advantage, it's not looking like they had it at all in this round, as they're the ones actually worse for wear.
Starting to struggle a little bit. Jame on a really aggressive angle with this AWP, looking to get his team back into it as Naf finally finds Liquid the advantage, and finally Buster strikes on the flank. Jame gets another, and the trades start to come through. 2-on-1 now for Jame on the AWP. He's got the first as he heads towards short, and Elige trying to make his way onto the bomb site will be able to recover the bomb, and it's all on the timing. Up on top of the boxes, over the top of his own smoke. It will be Elige to find round number 12, and this is where that extra little bit of economy becomes crucial for Virtus.pro. They are not in a great position, but at least they can buy something coming into this round.
My question is, will they buy something? Maybe just some pistols? I mean, 3 players on around 2K. It's going to be a risky buy-up, I'd say, if they went for it. But I mean, they have that possibility. They still have rounds to play with. It looks like they're actually just going to go play it safe. So just like a Deagle or 2 bought up in there. But Liquid, I mean, we've been talking about this for the last like 3-4 rounds, right? Like, even though they're losing rounds, they're still doing a lot of damage to Virtus.pro and not allowing these rounds to be too clean. And then when they finally win that one round, that's when they can start to snowball this game against Virtus.pro. And you can see how aggressive VP are getting here, looking for an early shot with the Deagle.
Love the stack. Triple stack to try and get the peak onto Kicker. And he's got control of the scaffolding. Unfortunately, not going to be any early pressure coming through from Liquid just yet, as Stewie does manage to clean up Sanji. And will they expect this Liquid? They're looking the wrong way at the moment, but they haven't exposed their heads yet, being very cautious, making their way up this A ramp. And Kicker, every second he's here is another second where they can't be finding frags from Adren, who is currently underneath him. So it's just a question of timing. Elige, his head spotted out, and he will come through with the double dink. Kicker able to get one off of that boost, but now the pressure starts to pile on towards this A bomb site. And Liquid, they're in a great position to clean this one up. 4-on-4, just got to be consistent, hit your shots, and make your way in. Twist going to find the first headshot to take down Buster. Stewie with a quick second, and this is more like it from Liquid. Twist cleaning up house as Adren with a 1v4, just the default pistol to work with. He's going to make his way straight through the smoke, but can't quite find the headshot he was looking for. So Liquid, they'll have 13, but the buy should be able to come in from Virtus.pro now.
Yeah, definitely. And James going to go for the op yet again, just with the Kevlar to back it up with. I almost want to imagine he's going to go for an aggressive peek yet again towards ramp, because it worked out so well for them last time. I mean, the round didn't work out for them, but the kills did. But we've even seen him on the B site in this just round prior, so they were looking to get aggressive towards B and actually look to push up. Maybe they're going to continue to do so with Buster, but with the 3 FAMASs, I don't know what you want to call it. Tom and I had this discussion yesterday. We had to decide. James actually go for a mid peek and not able to quite connect, but you can see Naf was just ready for it.
Yeah, he just wanted to go for the pre-fire, aware, of course, that there was probably some presence there from Liquid as well, so didn't want to give his life up too early on, and actually is going to fast rotate that AWP in towards the A bomb site, throw a little bit of utility, and look to set himself up aggressively, as again, Liquid putting that early pressure on, trying to get some presence, but nothing coming early in the early engagements. Virtus.pro happy to sit back on the bomb site this time, not sending the aggression, as Adren with a straight wall bang takes down Stewie 2K, and that is the perfect start for VP. Again, It's a man advantage out of absolutely nothing. They've not taken any contact, and as Kickert gets the second from short, it is looking like it is Virtus.pro's day. 5-on-3 now, and who's going to show up for Liquid? That's the question. Naf, Nitro, and Twist remaining on the server, and it's going to need something huge from one of them if they want any chance in this round.
And we had Twist waiting for a push towards B for the majority of this round, actually the entire round, expecting Virtus.pro to get aggressive in some direction, but VP don't actually go for that route. They don't go for that play. They leave Buster there just with the smoke to delay them, which he's going to need to throw down once he spots a pixel or two of Liquid. As they're going to be barreling into the site, and the rotation is just going to be Sanji there, so it's going to be a little bit rough. We do see James actually trying to come and help out in towards middle. Virtus.pro will have a defense on towards the B side, but Nitro's actually been able to sneak through. If he can hit this first shot, it could be good. James just missing the pixel of the shoulder of Nitro. And now the bomb's going to be planted.
Nice nade damage as well onto Nitro, down to 49 HP, and there's so many angles for Liquid to try and hold here. 5-on-3, Nitro manages to set himself up on the first generators, trying to be aggressive, but Sanji rips his head off and finds the second as well onto Naf. It's just Twist remaining. With only the Galil, he'll only find the first headshot. Virtus.pro get themselves map point on their pick. Oh man, this is a series and a half from them.
I'm just thinking ahead to the future right now. I always seem to do that after, well, towards the later ends of the first map. So just imagine a world where Virtus.pro beat Liquid 2-0, or just beat Liquid, period. Evil Genius has already won on Vertigo very heavily up against Mad Lions. It was, I don't want to ruin the score. I had 16-7, I already ruined the score. And they're going to Dust 2. So we could see Mad Lions up against Liquid in the lower side of the Group B bracket. That would be ridiculous. And that could potentially be a short end for Mad Lions if they can't match up to the level of Liquid.
I think
or vice versa. It could be Liquid getting knocked out early again.
I think you've got a very vivid imagination is what I'm going to say.
I just like to think of the possibilities.
13-15. Liquid take the timeout, and the Virtus plow, it really is being dusted off here. This is an incredible performance from so many players, and you can really see them starting to just believe in their own capabilities, which is something they spoke about a lot coming out of sort of that drop-off in performance, was just resetting, going back to what worked, and it's working perfectly at the moment. They're on match point. They've got 2 opportunities to shut it down, although Stewie will, for the first time, I believe, pick up a T-sided AWP.
He's looking to match up against James, or just maybe to prevent them from losing the players so early on, where Virtus.pro have been so successful in getting these initial entry frags, or these entry duels. Looks like he will go over towards ramp. Some early flashes coming in as well, trying to force Buster back. I think James in that direction as well. So Stewie won't have the matchup maybe he's looking for. It's still going to be taking their time. They've gone, you know, semi-default too. Look how passive they're playing towards B, even towards A. They're not taking ramp control off the bat anymore. Just really looking for that early man advantage for themselves, or maybe more importantly, prevent Virtus.pro from getting that early man advantage.
Yeah, arguably that's the more important thing at this point. Just don't lose a man early if you're Liquid. Just stacking up towards the B bomb site. Twist hoping that somebody gets aggressive over on the catwalk, but not going to happen. And now they're starting to group up, starting to think about where they want to play this push. And Liquid, they're already very low on utility. 3 flashbangs, a Molotov, and a smoke, all that remain for them to get into this bomb site. So it is just going to have to be fragging potential, and it's going to be up to James and Buster to hold this one down. As the push starts to come in, Nitro aggressive on the angle, just making sure he doesn't give the information up, but that Molotov is so well timed as the smoke goes over the top, and Liquid, they haven't got a smoke to put the molly out. They're running out of utility. They've got to go for this surely. Smoke straight off the map from James, but we'll ignore that one for a split second as he looks to set himself up, gets the first on the AWP, but the trade immediately there from Nitro, and Buster just stuck behind second generators as Sanji actually joins him and finds another pick. That's bombed down. Stewie at least able to refrag, but there's so much aggressive presence here. Stewie with another onto a Dren, and Buster and Kickert with the 3-on-2. They've got tags onto several players, and they catch Stewie in the transfer, but Naf's read it perfectly, and Liquid will have 14. We are not done with map number 1 just yet as Virtus.pro. Oh, look at that economy. Surely this is going to be OT.
It has to be at this rate, unless somehow Virtus.pro hits some ridiculous shots with these deagles, or maybe the FAMASas that they're picking up. But you have to wonder, like, with the utility Virtus.pro had, that should have been theirs to defend. The smoke that did go off the building, we ignored it then, but it would have taken away an angle that Stewie was using with the AWP, would have prevented at least 1 kill potentially from coming through. Obviously, it's really hard to figure out how it would have worked if things played out a little bit differently, but either way, Liquid do take the round in crunch time and put themselves on 14 and 1 away from that overtime. See James with the Mag 7.
Not his weapon of choice, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be, well, at least he's got the best shotgun in the game, despite what Tom says.
Well, I might be with Tom on this one.
Of course you Brits stick together. Where's my American casters over here? Though I'm practically German now since I've been living here 7 years.
I was about to say, you're pushing it a little bit with American there, aren't you? But Virtus.pro, they finally take themselves a timeout to try and work out how they finish the job now, and they are really going to start to feel that pressure ramp up as well, because it feels like Liquid have made as many mistakes as they are going to on a map like Vertigo. This is their time to finish this one, Virtus.pro, to put the scalp of Liquid on their mantelpiece and give themselves something to shout about coming into map number 2. Deagles, 2 Famises, and a Mag 7 coming out for James. It's not the buy Virtus.pro would have been hoping for, but perhaps they can make something of it. Again, actually fully scoped loadout coming out from Liquid this time. 4 Kriegs, 1 AK-47, 1 AK, 1 AWP, there we go. As they are looking to make no mistake, a Legion Nitro crouch walking up the A ramp. They do not want to give anything away to Virtus.pro here.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, Buster, he really wants this first kill. He really wants to open things up, maybe get a gun for them as well that they're desperately going to need coming into this final round of regulation time. No kit to be seen either for Virtus.pro, so if they're going to hold on to this, retakes have to be extremely quick or to prevent the bomb from going down altogether. I will say that Liquid have done, I think, a fairly good job of like preventing Kika from getting too many early kills in the later rounds that they've been winning. Buster, that's the shot they needed. Needs it onto Twist as well, but at least a 1-for-1 trade nonetheless.
It's a nice shot with the Deagle to find something, but unfortunately that gun going to be behind the smoke for the time being, and Virtus.pro know they can't get too aggressive on it. If they lose an extra man here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble as Liquid start to group up, start to plan their execute. Kicker, again, aggressive towards short, hoping for the timing here. And with so many players with nades out, there's potential here. Naf going to be looking at every angle at once and just about manages to clear it. Takes the dink for his trouble, but that won't be of concern for Liquid as the push starts to come in. Smokes all over the place, just completely locking out this bomb site with 15 seconds left. And Sanji was looking for the denial, but the Molotov's going to force him back. It's going to have to be the 4-on-2 retake as James, desperate to get something perhaps, goes through the smoke to his demise, and Alij starts to clean things up. Adren needing a 1v4 with the FAMAS at this point, trying to get any information he can. Spots out Alij, but nothing doing, and we will need overtime to separate these two teams on map 1.
Wow, Liquid able to pull it back on the brink of going down the first map in the series. Well done to them. Also, to be fair, well done to Virtus.pro considering recent form to be able to take a team like Liquid this far in. Just a shame they weren't able to cross that final step into the finish line to bring on map 2 with their own advantage. But we're going into the overtime, as you mentioned. 16K, first to 19. Nice. I like how we have that updated on the UI because it sometimes gets really confusing when you get into those double and triple overtimes. So let's see. Now, every weapon bought here for both sides. Everything they could possibly want. Utility as well. And will we see Virtus.pro go back to this aggressive play in the beginning to look for the early man advantage?
Setting Kicker up on the scaffolding again, but he is just starting to back off of it as Liquid back on Route 1, Twist being left alone towards that B-bomb site to find what he can. Buster trying to counter it with some aggression of his own. And again, you wonder, Liquid, do they just put a little more presence towards the B-bomb site? Twist is completely alone out here. He's not going to find any early information. Buster isn't stupid enough to wander through into his awaiting crosshair, so he's just going to sit back and wait. And Liquid are burning a lot of utility in these early rounds, getting that map control, starting to make their way up the A ramp now, finally with Stewie, but can they make their way in? It's, again, a heavy hold towards that A-bomb site from the CT side. 3 players here because they know Liquid are heading here so consistently that they can do it. Twist finally gets the opening pick onto Buster, and that's going to force some aggression out. Kicker with the jump has given his position away, but not quite punished. Alij was looking for the wallbang, but it's not going to come through. 5-on-4. Can Liquid find the conversion?
Well, they got 45 seconds left to play with here. Looks like they actually might back off in towards this B site. Would actually be perfect for them considering there's only Jame there in middle to actually help defend it. The other 3 players are going to be stacked up on the A site. Stewie trying to go for the little bit of a fake. Trying to keep these players here as he now backs off, and this is perfect. This is Liquid playing so smart here too, considering they got the kill on the Buster before. As long as they can deal with Jame. I think Naf gets a little bit cut off by the dead body there, but it doesn't seem to matter. Jame gets baited in, Nitro takes his head off, and Liquid should have this B site. Oh,
that could have gone so much worse. He starts shooting the dead body, he gives the information away, he gives the play away, but they managed to recover it well, taking out the AWPer and Jame and getting that B bomb site for free. And Virtus.pro, they are not interested whatsoever. 3 players happy to sit back towards that A-bomb site, happy to keep those rifles up. And, I mean, on 16K OT, there's no harm in going for it at times, but if you want to be bringing out those double AWP setups later on, if you want to be investing into that, you need to make sure your cash is solid, and I think that's the call from VP at this point, right? James down, he's going to need to buy an AWP. Perhaps you pick up the secondary, now you've lost a second man, and just look to mix the play up a little bit on the CT side coming into the next round, because Liquid, they're going to have the lead at 16 to 15, needing 3 more rounds to finish it on map 1.
I think Virtus.pro as well are going to really need these CT rounds. I mean, it was 8-7 in favor of Liquid at the end of the first half, when Virtus.pro were playing out their T side. And they really struggled with Twist on the B side. If we think back to the first half, Virtus.pro liked to go towards the A side quite consistently once they realized Twist was playing towards B and was hitting the shots that he was hitting. But maybe, both teams have been able to warm up. Maybe Virtus.pro are feeling a little bit more confident. Maybe that's the direction they do want to go when they head over towards that side. But they really need to start picking up some rounds here. Don't let Liquid take 3 straight in their first half of overtime.
Whatever you do, don't let Liquid go flawless on the T side. They've had their troubles, but they've dragged themselves back into their first map of IEM Katowice. Kicker again, and this time it's a lot more aggressive. Adren going to swing around the angle with the smokes to back him up. Kicker going down into the scaffolding as well, not bothering to keep his angle up towards shore, and he's going to go straight through. Kicker knows they need to get aggressive here, and he's going to just look to post himself up on this A ramp and hold it for as long as possible. Molotov gives away his position, though, still able to win the opening fight, and on 13 HP, Kicker able to back off. The Molotov not going to trap him in, but Stewie will find first blood for Liquid, manages to eventually scramble that trade together. And where do Liquid look to go from here? They're sending Twist up to get the information. He spots the head of Buster, but James going to swing the corner, and that's a beautiful crossfire setup from Virtus.pro to once again find themselves the man advantage. 4 on 3, and Liquid, they've got no map control. They're all passive deep in towards the lower level of this map, and they really look a little bit confused about where they want to go, finally putting some presence towards B.
Thing is, I can understand the passive play out of them because Virtus.pro, most of their success comes from getting aggressive and getting an early kill, which they tried yet again. You saw, I think Liquid counter this for the most part of the second half by playing extra passive, but now the problem is they're down an extra player. It's currently 3 on 4. They're going to have to regroup to head in towards one of these sites. Sanji even looking for potential flank here to get the information. He's now going to know they're not heading towards the A site, can quickly rotate back towards B, and I don't see a world where Liquid can win this round. I know they can, but with Sanji on the quick flank, if he goes for it, if James can just continue to hit these shots, if, I guess more importantly, if Stewie can't connect, which he's not going to have an opportunity anymore with the nade coming through, then it looks like Virtus.pro will be able to take their first round in overtime.
Nitro got to get the bomb down in a 1v4, nothing doing at all. Virtus.pro hold firm on the CT side to find their first, and it was a really nice hold as well. They managed to scramble together a couple of Kriegs at the end of things, Buster and Sanji combining well, and it all stems from that early engagement where Kicker managed to win. With 13 HP, Elige knows exactly where he is, and Liquid still can't clear him out. He gets that opening pick, and you could see the disarray from Liquid then. 2 players try and swing to find that refrag. That doesn't come through immediately, and it just sort of all snowballed from there. So Liquid, they've got to start hitting those shots. They've got to start clearing things out early on if they want to be successful in OT.
Also, maybe expect the unexpected a little bit. As you do see Buster push up, he's just going to trade 1 for 1, however. Not sure with the great refrag coming through, but Elige gets tagged down, about 60 HP. I mean, thinking back to the wide swing that Jane went with here in this position before, able to kill off, I think that was Twist in a round prior. As he was trying to get aggressive towards the B site. But I do like this. We've seen Jane play it in middle quite a bit. He's actually rotated towards the B site in the last few rounds. And now Liquid can use that. Elige, almost gets caught and actually punishes Keeker from that one too. Gets the headshot, gives them the man advantage in the last round of the first half of overtime.
And that's so much more like it from Liquid as well, punishing the mistakes that are made by Virtus.pro. Elige finds his team the man advantage, and now it's just about this execution. Where do they look to go? Nitro not quite going to catch the timing as James thought about going for the aggressive peek down in towards the ramp, but now happy just to fall back. The footsteps will give the information away, but again, with 45 seconds left, Liquid, their map control somewhat limited. They have got middle, but that's about all they got at the moment. And Sanji actually going to be able to pick off Naf as Stewie not there to cover his teammate. 3 on 3. And Nitro wandering straight into the crosshair. Jane, though, not quite able to hit the shot, and that's going to start to open up some avenues for Liquid. The Molotov comes through to force him back into the second generators, but he won't miss twice in a row. 3v2 now for Liquid, as again, they've got to get this bomb down, and the nades are doing so much damage. Elige and Stewie just desperate to hold on to this B-bomb site. Stewie pre-firing every angle he can think of as Elige comes in with 1. There's a team kill as well to bring it into the 1-on-1, and it's Elige versus Adren trying to find this round. Elige gets the the timing, and he'll have the headshot. 17-16 as we head into the halftime break. Liquid bailing themselves out of that round, and it could not have been closer.
I'm not going to say Liquid bailing themselves out. I think that was a Dren bailing Liquid out right there. The TK coming through. They had the 2-on-1. Turns into a 1v1 situation. Liquid able to take that round. We're obviously not going to know how that's really going to impact the grand scheme of things until we do finish off this second half of overtime, but that's got to hurt, knowing that you could have had the 17-16 lead at the end of the first half. Unfortunate times here for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, we said you can't give Liquid anything, right? And they've just given them the ultimate let-off. That should have been a 2 versus 1. It should have been an easy conversion. Instead, Elige able to just tap away at the head of a Dren and finish the job. So Liquid going to be heading onto the CT side, knowing they only need 2 rounds. And VP, they have to be flawless if they want to win at this point. At least 2 required to take us to double overtime. So pressure really starting to mount on them. And we'll see if they can really make it work. They spoke a lot about the pressures of getting that magical run, so that pressure's back on now. Can you handle it?
It looks like they're going to be heading back towards this B side with 2 players to feel things out. Again, Twist can be left to himself to defend. Kiker, he actually punishes Elige the exact same way it happened to him in the round prior. And Virtus.pro get the early advantage. Stewie, though, he was a saving grace before in some rounds on the CT side with Zeta. He's got Nitro to back him up, and Nitro gets himself to quick 2 as Stewie does escape to the sandbag. So at least putting things a little bit closer together, as Virtus.pro do have the 1-man advantage. But Liquid, what do they do here? They're so spread from each other as well.
Problem is they've only got the double AWPs remaining as well, so it's really up to these AWPers just to hit their shots. Naf trying to play around the first generators, but Buster has managed to sneak up on his angle. Naf at least able to get 1, swings the angle, can't find the second, but Stewie's there to bail him out, and Kicker needing the 1v2, nothing doing. Liquid have 18, and they are 1 round away, and I'm going to say it, from stealing Vertigo from VP, because they have looked so good, and you do worry for them. If this one goes wrong, you don't see them taking Mirage.
Yeah, not really. Then again, I didn't expect Vertigo to get so close, so Virtus.pro did prove me wrong there. But again, just a couple of mistakes, a couple of things happening. I guess technically you can say for both teams, but it's more apparent for Virtus.pro with the Dren, TK. There's some other rounds that were a little bit interesting in terms of the pushing they've been doing. I don't want to call any players in particular, but anyways, it's just rough times. Like one little mistake, one little misstep, one little misfire can cost you a map like this, and Buster's going to get caught by Elige, who pushes super aggressive towards B. Stewie's looking for a shot to maybe equalize things. He's not been able to be gifted the angle just yet.
And Buster has to be winning that as well. He was holding the smoke. He was waiting for the aggression, but Elige just straight up wins the duel and finds his team the man advantage. Liquid looking to finish the job on map 1 here and now, needing just 1 more round to find their victory. Happy to get aggressive. Naf actually going to be rotating his AWP around towards the B bomb site, and James jumping straight into the crosshair. That's a gift of a frag. Now Elige looking for the backstab, playing the trigger discipline, at least able to get 1. Sanji spins and trades it, but it's a 4 versus 2 for Sanji and Adren to try and recover. And look at this, Twist, aggressive, doesn't quite have the angle, so at least going to be a B bomb site that might be given up. Adren not quite caught as he went through the boost, and it should be a B bomb site plant for VP if they can get away with it.
And there's a chance here if Dren can stay alive, if Naf can hit the shot. It's 3-on-2, but the bomb should be planted momentarily. And there we go, Sanji's able to get a big kill that they needed for this one. Stewie's gonna push through the fire and the flames, and he takes down Dren as well. Sanji now alone against 2 to keep Virtus.pro's hopes alive in map 1, but it's not gonna matter. Liquid will finally close it out at 19 rounds to 16 and go into Mirage up 1-0.
What a game to start day 2. Overtime on Vertigo needed to separate the